Hello my friends, Chris Mason here. Alright, these are the supplies you will need. I've got a piece of watercolor paper. This is 9 by 12. You could also use cardstock with this project. You will need a pencil, a plain old regular pencil. I've got a black crayon. You will need some paints. In this instance, I am using acrylics. I have a blue and a green. You could also use poster paints for this. You will need a little paint tray or paper plate or styrofoam plate to use as a palette for your paints. You will need some paper towels. I've got 2 paper towels here. And if you have it, probably good to have, I've got a reference picture of Lady Liberty's portrait. All right, so before we get started, how about some fun facts about Lady Liberty? It has been nearly 140 years since the Statue of Liberty found her home in the harbor of New York, and it has become an important part of American culture. But would you believe that Lady Liberty was actually a gift from the French? The Statue of Liberty was built by French sculptor Augustin Bartholdi, with the help of tons of workers working 10-hour days, 7 days a week for 9 years. The statue was finally finished in 1884 and presented to America on July 4th. It didn't arrive in the United States until many months later, because all 350 individual pieces of the statue had to be packed into 214 crates for the long boat ride from France to New York. Visitors must climb 354 stairs to reach the Statue of Liberty's crown. There are 25 windows in Lady Liberty's crown. The 7 spikes on the Statue of Liberty's crown represent either the 7 oceans or the 7 continents. The statue is made of copper and is now green in color because of oxidation. The Statue of Liberty weighs 450,000 pounds. The Statue of Liberty has size 879 sandals that are each 25 feet long. All right, if we are ready, let's get started. So I've got my watercolor paper. As I said, you could use cardstock for this. I'm going to go vertical up and down. What I want to do is I'm going to use my pencil and I want to loosely block out my shapes. This way I can feel my composition, where to place everything, and I'm just sort of roughly blocking out the shapes. So what you want to do is you can find the middle of the paper. If you want, you can put a little dot just for reference, just to get us started, just so we have a good idea of where the center of our paper is. It just gives us a starting point. All right, so I'm just going to roughly sort of block out her features, and I'm going to give her, this will be the shape of her head, and she's got her hair. And again, I'm doing this like super light, and the crown, and I'm just going to do a little center cross, so down the center and across the center, which is the eyes, and then the arm goes up this way. And again, like I said, I'm doing this super rough. She's got this little twisty on her shoulder. And all right, so I really roughly, just super fast, take your time with this. I know I said super fast, but take your time and just blocking it out. And we just get a sort of a rough idea of composition and where to place that portrait. You're going to want to make it big. Don't draw too small, because we're concentrating on her face. We're not doing the torch or any of that. All right. So we've got the rough shapes. So now I can start going in with my pencil using a little darker pressure on Lady Liberty, keeping in mind that the shapes of this statue are very angular. So we can use a lot of sort of square shapes. So let's go ahead and give her hair here. And again, I'm just kind of using that rough pencil layout that I did. And let's go ahead and we'll do her neck, kind of comes down, right? And her crown. There's really no specific order as to how you're laying out your Liberty. And there are 7 spikes, so the first one goes straight up, and then the rest kind of follow at sort of an even space, and the last one is almost straight across. All right, so, and I'm not going to worry about it being perfect. Part of the fun of this is that it's very loose. And so the arm is going up. Again, we're not drawing the torch, so we're just concentrating on her face, which I'm going to save for last. All right, so there's this little here and part of her robes coming off her shoulders. All right, and then she's got some curls that kind of come down here on either side. All right, there we go. Now we got the face. And like I said, everything is very, very angular, and we want to keep it very simple. So we'll do her eyes here, and we're going to do all right. Little cheekbones, and there's some eyebrow area here. And there we go. That looks very Lady Liberty-like. All right, so we've got our pencil down. Now we can go in with our black crayon, and we're going to trace all those pencil lines. Now, a trick to using a crayon, if you've got a whole one like this, I like to put my finger like this and kind of brace it. So if I'm putting pressure on my crayon, it's not going to snap in half if I'm holding it, right? And then again, you can just kind of start wherever you want. So you want to put a little bit of pressure. You want a nice solid black line. As you trace. And then you can also, at this point, you can, if you want to add some extra details, you can. This is sort of the place where you do it. All right. So as I'm doing this, I have my reference handy that I'm kind of using as a reference. I'm trying not to copy it too much, but I just keep it handy just to have the reference so you know where you're going. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on with the hair. So see how I'm holding my crayon? Now, the crown, there's 25 little windows, but you don't need to draw all of them. So I'm just going to go and do some little black squares like this, as many as you can fit in there. Kind of evenly spacing them out. We're not doing, an exact representation of the Liberty. Notice I have saved her face for last. There we go. All right. Then we can go in and do the face. Now it's not important that you save her face for last. I just saved it for last for no particular reason. Now I'm doing her eyes almost in reverse, where the pupil and the iris would be the black and the white would be white. So we're doing them in reverse because of the way it's sculpted. The iris is forward and the white part is recessed, so we're seeing a lot of shadow. So the shadows in the eye are sort of following that. And again, everything is sort of angular. All right. There we go. There's our portrait of Lady Liberty. Now the fun part is we can go in with the crayon and start adding some little details like this. And some shadow. So if we start adding some darker areas of shadow, this just helps to give us a little dimension, and we kind of see our light source is coming here, so we want things on the kind of like the right side are more in shadow. And you don't want to get too carried away with adding shadows. You just want to do a little bit here and there just to kind of sell that there's a little dimension to it. All right, we'll do a little bit here at the bottom. And then it's, up to personal preference, whatever makes you happy, whatever looks best to your eye. There we go. All right, there we go. So there's my Lady Liberty. I'm pretty good, happy with how she looks. Now comes the fun part. I mean, it's all fun, but for me, this is the fun part, is painting. All right, so we're done. Also, at this point, if you want to, you can have your students sign their name, either on the front or the back. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do some paint. So I'm going to grab, I have my paint tray here. It's a piece of foil and a plastic tray. I'm recycling this from a previous project. So in this instance, I am using acrylic paint. You could use poster paint with this. That works just as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get a little bit of blue down here. I don't need a lot, so I've got about the size of a quarter. And some green. And notice as I shake this, I keep my finger on the lid just in case I didn't close it from the last time. All right, so I'm going to put another little blob of green. If you're sharing paints, if you're working with a group, maybe 3 or 4 of the kids are sharing the same, so you can do a bigger puddle of paint. But since I'm working just with myself, about the size of a quarter is good. All right, so we have those paper towels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crinkle it up, wad it up a little bit. This is our paintbrush. All right, so we're going to really roughly and in an abstract way paint this. You could do the blue or the green first, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go for the green first. So what I'm going to do is I take that wadded up paper towel, I'm going to dab it in there. I'm not smashing, I'm not scooping up, I'm just dabbing it in so I get a nice little bit of paint on there. Now the fun part of this is we're just going to rub this all over right on top of our crayon, just like this. And I'm not going to worry that I'm missing, that I'm not filling it all in, or I'm going outside the lines. Part of the fun of this is that we are doing exactly that. We're going all over. And I'm not going to worry, like I said, that I'm getting every single square inch. It's okay if you don't get all of it in. All right, see, we're outside the lines. Nothing's perfect. We're seeing some white showing through, and that's exactly what we want to see. And that's it. See how quick I did that? Maybe if you're working with a group of kids, you want to maybe count them down. Give them like 30 seconds. Count to 30, and by the time you get to 30, they should be done. All right, so you can use that same paper towel. I'm just going to fold it over and hide the green, and we're going to do the blue, the background. It's also probably a good idea have something behind your paper. You know, if you've got a table that's covered with plastic or something, that's good. In this case, I'm using a little cardboard backer board. That way I don't get paint on my table. All right, so same thing, wad it up. I'm going to dab into the blue. Again, I'm not smashing it in. I'm not scooping. I'm just dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. So I get some blue on there, and then I just do the same thing. And I'm going to concentrate this kind of in the background here. And if it overlaps with the green, that's perfect too. Boom. See how fast I did that? So look, I got white spaces here. That's fine. We're not looking to fill in every single white space. We've got some overlap where the blue and the green kind of overlap. Looks great. This is exactly what we want to see. That's it. That's it. That's our Lady Liberty. So I could take my crayon now. I'm going to just go sign here down at the bottom. And there we go. There is our Lady Liberty. All right, well, I hope you had fun with this project. I had a good time creating my Lady Liberty. I hope you did too. Please check out my other fun art projects. And as always, have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.